Electrocardiograph, also known as EKG, amplifies the electrical impulses from the heart. First off, we need to make sure that we wash and sanitize our hands. You want to choose a room away from all electrical impulses. Your patient preparation includes having your patient disrobe from the waist up, giving them a gown opening to the front. You also want to make sure they take off all things metal. If your patient has a hairy chest, you will then need to shave only the portions that you're going to place the actual electrodes on. Supplies needed for the EKG is your EKG machine, electrodes, tape, and alcohol. Now we're going to go over actual lead placement. Our chest leads are placed on our patient's chest. You want to make sure that we pay attention to modesty while doing chest placements. V1 is placed in the fourth intercostal space, just right of the sternum. You're going to fill down to make sure you are actually at that fourth intercostal space. Make sure the tab is facing downwards towards your patient's feet. V2 is placed directly across from V1 in the same ICS space. I then place lead 4, which is in the fifth intercostal space, left of the mid-clavicular line. After placing V4, V3 is placed in the middle of 2 and 4 in a diagonal line. I then place lead 6. Lead 6 is placed horizontal to lead 4 on the mid-axillary line. V5 is placed directly in between 4 and 6. Our arm leads are placed the upper right arm on the inside, the upper left on the inside, making sure the tabs are facing downwards. Our leg leads are placed on the calf. This time the tabs need to be facing up. Right on the meaty part of the calf. Now we are ready to attach the wires to the actual electrodes. Each wire is designated and has a name for each electrode you need to attach it to. First is V1, V2, making sure your wires lay flat to the patient, and you want to make sure they're not twisted too much. V3 is next. V4. V5. V6. Now we're going to place our arm leads, starting with the right arm. Then our left arm. Our right leg. The reason why we have the tab facing up, so the actual wires don't have to be curved. And then our left leg. Now that our leads are placed, you want to turn on the EKG machine. You're going to then input your patient's demographics, Before starting the actual test, you want to make sure that your patient stays still. Once they are calm and still, you're going to press the auto button to start the machine. It's going to then read the electrical impulses of the heart. Once the reading comes out, you're going to keep the patient still connected because we want to take the actual. Now that you have all of your leads placed, you want to then turn on your EKG machine. Once you turn it on, you're going to input your patient's information. Before starting the actual test, you want to make sure that your patient stays still. That's very important. Once you're ready, you're going to press the auto button to start the actual test. Once the test results are printed, you want to take it to the doctor for interpretation before you actually unhook your patient. Once the physician says that the interpretation is good, you could then come back and unhook your patient from the leads as following. And then remove the actual electrodes. Be sensitive when removing the electrodes because you might pull out some hair. Once you remove all your electrodes, your patient then could get dressed. And that's how you perform an EKG.